Hello and welcome to this new video. This is the Fail Race Touring Car Championship, the first round at Yas Marina. In qualifying, I managed to bag P14, as you can see, but in the Toyotas, they don't launch as well, so you can see Defty in his rear-wheel drive. BMW is going to get the drive on me. Coming into turn 1, though, I'm going to try go down his inside, bit of bumping from behind. Defty leaves me the space, though, so I do manage to just about squeeze my way up into P12. However, he's held it side by side coming into this S section here, and I'm on the outside on cold tires, so yeah, that's not gonna work. So he's gonna manage to get past me. However, we're coming into this chicane here, hard braking zone, good overtaking opportunity. However, he takes that defensive line and manages to hold on to P12, and they're going too wide and so on up ahead, so they're really not getting away. So that's good for us here in the midfield. You can see quite a lot of fighting. But now we're on this big old back straight, and this was where the weakness of my car was. I had no straight line speed. I was running way too much aero, and everything and everyone was pulling away on the straights. I think the top speed I managed was 147, and I think everyone else was at least hitting 150 miles an hour. And as you can see, coming into the braking zone, gonna miss my braking point a bit, so Integra's gonna manage to get past me, so he's going up into P13. So bit of a hectic first lap, but no major incidents, so I hold on to P14 for now. But as you can see, I have no time to rest because Stevie is going to lunge one down the inside. He's just about going to manage to get that stop. Wasn't expecting that. Tried setting up for a cutback here, but as you can see, my car doesn't really pull hard enough to manage to do that. So that means I'm now down into P15. I have a bit of a gap to the car behind, and as you can see, the guys up ahead, they are kind of fighting and going side by side. So I'm going to try and put my car down the middle there, but they're going to close that gap, so I'm going to have to pull out of that. And through the chicane, you can see the car behind has managed to catch up quite a bit. I'm going to try and go down the inside of Stevie here, give Defty a bit of a bump as well, as Sheep seems to have spun. Don't know why, but as you can see, Stevie around the outside with his BMW is going to manage to get past me. And on the straight here, you can see, even though I'm using the slipstream as much as I can, trying to keep up with these guys, I just stand no chance. They're just pulling so hard. You can see Ollie behind me, even though he was quite far behind, he really caught up and is pretty much side by side. So coming into the braking zone now, gonna go for a big lunge on Defty there, give him a bit of a tap, but he seems to be okay. So I do manage to get up into P13. We managed to both leave Stevie behind as he tried having a look through the final turn, but I don't think he's going to go for another move into turn 1 though. Now moving on to lap 6, after looking at the back of Defty's car for quite a while, I'm getting a bit impatient here. Just going to give him a bit of a bump, which is going to send his car sideways. Very annoying that the BMWs do that, but I guess that's because they're rear-wheel drive. But even though he was kind of sideways coming out of that hairpin, you can see his car still just pulls away on the straight. Like it was just so painful not being able to do anything on the straights about any of the guys really. Even the slowest cars were faster than me because I was the slowest car. However, into the chicane here at the end of the straight, you can see it just managed to hold off Stevie as I put him to the outside. However, I don't have the best of lines through these final few turns, and as you can see, Sheep, he's going to get a very good run there using all of the track and maybe just a bit more. So he's going to manage to get to my inside, put it on the defensive line, and he's going to get up into P13. Now, it was just a case of time until Stevie would eventually get past me. I think he was a bit quicker, and of course, with his car being faster on the straight, at some point he would just manage to drag past me, and he's going to do that here on lap 7. As you can see, gone to my inside. I'm going to try and outbrake him here, but he does manage to position his car very nicely, so he gets up into P13. And then cutting on a bit later, I'm going to outbrake myself into the hairpin a bit, run a bit wide, so I'm going to lift off the throttle and let Glisker pass because I gained an unfair advantage over him, so I'm going to lose P14 as well. Now moving to lap 10, you can see Ollie is right behind me in his events as well, and we're in the same car, and he's not using my slipstream, and you can see his car is just pulling past. I think I was running almost maximum front aero and like I'd say 50% rear aero, so yeah, quite aero heavy car. And coming into this corner at the end of the straight, I'm going to go for a big lunge here, just about get it stopped, and we're going to sort of bump each other a bit. I was on full steering lock, so couldn't really have done anything else. A bit of a rough move, but I'd say it was just about legal. But as you can see, I've managed to get past him now, so into P15. However, he's still quite close in it, and if he can stay with me through these first couple of corners on the lap, then he might be able to get past me on the straight again. And I don't know why I went for this much aero, because I think it was during tuning. My car just didn't feel right on low aero, especially through these two turns. It was just not stable, didn't have the grip, didn't want to turn in. So me being me, I just put on a bunch of air and was like, yes, that's going to work very well, and wasn't really thinking of the straight. So yeah, that's kind of why that was. And as you saw there, I had a big lock up into the chicane, ran wide into the hairpin, so Ollie does manage to get past me, so he's up into P15. Now then, as you can see, it's the final lap, it's lap 14. Creator behind me, he was going quite consistently, approximately my pace, but more consistently than I went, and he's going to go for a huge lunge. As you can see, they're just about getting it stopped, just about legal as well, so that was a very good move from him. And because he's ahead now, coming onto the straight, because everything else was faster than me on the straight, he's going to manage to get past me. And as you can see, he's just pulling a huge gap already, so no chance of getting back past him in the final few corners. So I would finish P17, bit of a poor race really. I'm going to be a racing driver and blame it on my setup, because well, my setup, it was shit really. That's the only way to describe it. Despite the aero, it wasn't that good through the corners, and I just lost all the time on the straight as well, so yeah. Poor race, but other than that, I'll see you in the next video, and until then, goodbye.